Top 10 Horror Movies. Horror movies have always held a strange power over audiences, tapping into our deepest fears and anxieties. From psychological thrillers and supernatural tales to gruesome slashers and found-footage nightmares, the genre has evolved significantly over the decades. Before we get started, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. 1. The Exorcist, 1973. When it comes to iconic horror films, few have had the seismic cultural impact of The Exorcist. Directed by William Friedkin and based on the novel by William Peter Blatty, the film tells the story of a young girl named Regan who becomes possessed by a malevolent entity. Her desperate mother enlists the help of two priests, leading to a spiritual showdown that remains one of the most harrowing in cinematic history. The film was groundbreaking for its time, not just in special effects and makeup, but in its exploration of faith, evil, and the unknown. Audiences reportedly fainted, vomited, and fled theaters upon its release. It remains essential viewing for anyone studying the genre. Decades later, The Exorcist remains a benchmark in horror, unflinchingly bleak, masterfully directed, and genuinely terrifying. With performances that feel deeply human and a haunting score that amplifies every moment, The Exorcist is as much a psychological drama as it is a supernatural horror. 2. Hereditary, 2018. Modern horror reached new psychological depths with Ari Aster's Hereditary. This chilling family tragedy masquerades as a haunted house story before diving into something far more sinister. Centered around Annie, played by Toni Collette in a career-defining role, the film explores themes of grief, trauma, and inherited madness. After her mother's death, strange events unfold, leading Annie and her family into a web of horrifying secrets. Aster masterfully layers dread and unease, slowly tightening the noose until the audience can hardly breathe. Hereditary stands out for its patient, intelligent storytelling and its ability to disturb without relying on cheap scares. Its final act unleashes chaos with a precision that makes every twist feel earned and inevitable. This isn't just horror, it's psychological devastation in cinematic form. 3. The Shining, 1980. Directed by Stanley Kubrick and adapted from Stephen King's novel, The Shining is less about overt horror and more about unraveling the mind. Set in the isolated Overlook Hotel, the film follows Jack Torrance, played by Jack Nicholson, a writer slowly descending into madness as supernatural forces take hold. The film's slow pacing, eerie atmosphere, and striking imagery make it one of the most visually compelling horror films ever made. From the haunting twins to the river of blood in the elevator, every scene is etched in horror history. Despite initial mixed reviews, The Shining has become a cornerstone of horror cinema. It's not just a movie, it's a maze of madness. Its ambiguity and psychological depth invite endless analysis, and its influence can be seen in countless modern horror films. 4. Get Out, 2017. Jordan Peele's Get Out revolutionized horror with its razor-sharp commentary on race, privilege, and modern-day liberalism. When Chris, a black man, visits his white girlfriend's family estate, things begin to feel off. What starts as awkward social tension spirals into a horrifying conspiracy. The brilliance of Get Out lies in its layers. Peele blends satire with horror masterfully, using genre conventions to dissect systemic racism in ways that are both terrifying and thought-provoking. It's a horror film, a social thriller, and a deeply personal exploration of identity and control. Peele's script and direction earned him an Oscar, and the film ignited a new wave of socially conscious horror that continues today. 5. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, 1974. Few films have managed to instill as much sheer panic as Tobe Hooper's low-budget masterpiece The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Following a group of friends who stumble upon a deranged family in rural Texas, the film introduced audiences to Leatherface, a chainsaw-wielding maniac who quickly became a horror icon. Its raw, documentary-style visuals and unrelenting pace give it a terrifying realism that still shocks today. Though not overly graphic by today's standards, the film's atmosphere is suffocating. Every frame feels like it's soaked in fear and dread. It's a brutal, unfiltered descent into madness and one of the most important horror films ever made. 6. Psycho, 1960. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho was a game-changer for the horror genre. Centered around the eerie Bates Motel and its reclusive manager, Norman Bates, the film plays with expectations and then shatters them. The infamous shower scene alone sent shockwaves through cinema and remains one of the most iconic moments in film history. With its themes of duality, repression, and madness, Psycho paved the way for modern psychological horror. Hitchcock's mastery of suspense, combined with Anthony Perkins' unforgettable performance, created a timeless thriller that still holds power today. The film's twist ending is legendary, and its influence echoes in countless horror films that followed. 7. The Conjuring, 2013. Directed by James Wan, The Conjuring reignited interest in supernatural horror with its gripping retelling of a real-life haunting investigated by Ed and Lorraine Warren. Set in the 1970s, the film follows a family plagued by a demonic presence in their farmhouse. Wan uses atmospheric tension, practical effects, and smart pacing to craft an old-school horror story with modern flair. Unlike many jump-scare-heavy horrors, The Conjuring focuses on building suspense and establishing emotional stakes. Its success launched a sprawling cinematic universe, but the original remains the most chilling. It's a reminder that classic haunted house horror, when done right, never goes out of style. 8. A Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. In Wes Craven's A Nightmare on Elm Street, the horror comes from where we least expect it, our dreams. Freddy Krueger, the burnt-faced villain with a glove of knives, haunts teenagers in their sleep, and dying in a dream means dying in real life. The concept alone is terrifying, but Craven's execution turns it into a nightmarish fever dream filled with surreal visuals and innovative scares. With its retro aesthetic, synth-heavy score, and slow-burning tension, it follows reinvigorated indie horror. 9. It Follows, 2014. David Robert Mitchell's It Follows introduced one of the most original horror premises of the decade. The entity never stops, it just walks. After a sexual encounter, a young woman finds herself stalked by a slow-moving, shape-shifting entity that only she can see. The film's genius lies in this simplicity, creating a constant, creeping dread that lingers long after watching. 10. Mudsommer, 2019. Ari Aster makes a second appearance on this list with Mudsommer, a horror film that unfolds almost entirely in daylight. This Swedish folk horror tale follows Donnie and her friends as they attend a remote midsummer festival that quickly turns from beautiful to brutal. The horror here is psychological, cultural, and existential, all cloaked in serene, flower-filled landscapes. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.